Well, in the words of Fabrizio Romano, Max Aarons to Leeds United. Here we go. Welcome back to TalkNorwichCity, everyone. Jack Reeve with the news that we've got some more transfer dealings to be done. And it's Max Aarons going to Leeds United for a rumoured £12 million. At least a deal that could rise to £12 million. But it looks like we're going to be getting at least 10 for him. This is a fascinating one. We always knew that Max would be departing Norwich this summer, and we hoped that it would be for good money, and I think we've got both of those boxes ticked here. I just didn't expect him to be going to another Championship team. I thought that it would be a Premier League team. He's been linked with West Ham and Fulham. A London club felt like it was likely for Max. And if it wasn't a Premier League team, then you were expecting it to be a top European team. We've seen him linked with Bayern Munich and Barcelona in the past. But it looks like Daniel Farke will be the man once again managing him. And from that perspective, it makes complete sense. Leeds have a little bit of money. Tyler Adams, it looks like he'll be going to Chelsea, which should free up some funds for them. They're also going in for Rodon, bringing him in for Spurs. They're also dead keen on Gus Hamer from Coventry as well. So a busy week for Leeds United and assembling quite the squad for the Championship after they looked slightly topsy-turvy in their opener against Cardiff, as you would expect in the early days from Daniel Farke. So for Leeds, it looks like a really good bit of business. Max is linking up with a former manager and probably the manager that got the best out of him. I think we've seen Max not go backwards in his development, but probably get a little bit stale in his time at Norwich City. I don't think he quite fitted the way that David Wagner wants to operate. From the early signs, it looks like Jack Stacey is far more suited to the way that Wagner wants to set this side up. Just having a few more inches height-wise feels like that's benefited Norwich City greatly. And I keep seeing kind of Leeds fans going like, I can't work this out. Why was he linked with a move for like 40 million quid to Barcelona and Bayern a couple of seasons back, and now he's going to the Championship for £12 million? I think there's a couple of things to break down here. One, I don't think he was ever worth 40 million quid, and maybe, you know, the transfer market was slightly inflated a couple of years ago. Norwich were in the Premier League, which boosts that kind of transfer fee somewhat. He was probably a £25 million player, but Norwich have got a couple more seasons out of him. It means that his contract has run down slightly. He's only got a year left on his deal. Norwich don't want to risk going into that final year of the contract and then losing him on a free. So there's a few different elements. Max Aarons is still a really shrewd player and still very young. I mean, he's 23 years old and he's played 213 senior appearances for Norwich City. I mean, he's played a lot of football at a very young age and has played a lot of Premier League football at a very young age. I think Max, the lovely thing with Max is, you know, he's been linked with moves away for the past couple of seasons and not once has he kicked up a fuss, acted unprofessionally. He's just got his head down and worked. And I think that over the course of his career will be only beneficial for him. Max has been one of our most consistent performers, I'd say, since he broke into the team as an 18-year-old. Farke believed in him. I think that kind of attacking style of wing-back has really become quite fashionable, and Max is exactly that. I think there's a few parts of his game that have maybe let him down. I think his final product could certainly be improved. You look at, you know, the elite level right backs in this country, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kieran Trippier, like their final product is delicious. And I think that was the frustration with Max. He'd get himself in really good areas and then the final ball was often a bit sloppy. So he needs to work on it there. I think his height has sometimes let him down when it comes to kind of back post crosses and defending at the back post. He's been beaten a couple of times in those areas, but these are minor things that can be worked on. He was exceptional in that Daniel Farke side and has been a consistent performer under Dean Smith and you know, most lately David Wagner. So a consistent performer, a player that has been exceptional for Norwich City, and it looks likely that we're going to be getting a really good fee for him. Now for Norwich, Like, it feels like we've already got that next player. Originally, we thought it was going to be Barley Mumba. He's been sold. Jack Stacey, from what we've seen so far, he looks really impressive. We've also got the young lad Fisher that we've brought in that Wagner really likes. So you've got a couple of replacements there. And for Norwich, Stuart Webber said that, you know, he felt as if Max had probably outgrown his time at the football club and needed a move. I can't agree with that anymore. I think he had the Premier League football. He had a taste of that. If we were still in the Premier League, then you've got these fresh challenges. But that wasn't the case and isn't the case with Norwich. So Max needs a move. Norwich get up to 12 million quid, which feels like a fair fee for realistically a championship defender at this stage. And we've already got our replacement. So for each party, it seems to work. Does it hurt any less that we're going to see Max in a Leeds shirt? No, of course it doesn't, and that will feel strange to begin with. But in terms of everyone getting what they want, this feels like a sensible move. Max to Leeds will happen. It looks very likely that it will be in the next couple of days. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Would you have liked to have seen him go to a Premier League club, or do you think this is still his level? And do you think the fee is fair? Rumoured to be around the £12 million mark. Max, thank you for your services. You've been brilliant. One of the finest right-backs I've certainly seen in an Norwich City shirt. And best of luck with your future career. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.